Yo, 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 yo. What is good, my people? It is me, Jason Gooner, and we are back for the 26-27 EPL Preview Show. This season, Arsenal will be the defending champions. You see it right there, Arsenal. We are the defending champions going into the season. So tonight we're going to break down the season. We're definitely going to go through the predictions for week one as well. We have a new exciting way to do the predictions this season. We're going to take the load off of Jason Gooner himself. Man is busy. You know, he's a family man. We have a lot of things going on with the family each and every day. So in order to keep bringing you the quality content, we figured out a way to do it a little bit more efficiently this season. So in the description of the video, you will see the instructions to sign into the prediction pool. Yes, I will go through still, do every game each week. I'll put them into the predictor and I will save it. You guys can do the same. There will be a link how you can join the prediction pool. That way everybody's scores and predictions can be documented and we can look at it. And yes, we will still have the donkey of the week and the champion of the week each and every week. Also, you know, we play FPL as well. In the description of this video tonight, you will find the link or the code to join my FPL league, the JGTV Fantasy League. Please do, if you play FPL, join competition. We need more of it because last season we made the league and won the league. So people saying that it was a bit of collusion and everything, even though I have no power over giving myself points. I just pick my team and I win. So yeah, I cannot really set it up to win. But people, if you want to challenge me this season, yes, just find the links in the description of the video. I will drop the links in the comment section as the video is going as well. So just look out for it as the night goes. You will find any link that you want to join any league that I am taking part in that you guys should also do. All right. So listen, we're gonna go through the season as well as preview this week. So the first thing I want to do is just familiarize ourselves with something that I think is extremely important, and that is the rules of the game. So there are some changes to the rules this season. So we're going to look first and foremost at those rule changes, because somehow each and every week we do these previews and we do these reviews. We don't want to talk about them. They're just the refs, but they're always coming up, right? So I like to have conversations that are based in truth. And it's very difficult to have a conversation about truth or with truth if you don't understand the rules. So we are going to see what those rule changes are and see how they might affect this season moving forward. Then we're going to take a look at the season overall and try to predict from 1 to 20 the Premier League finish. So we're going to start from 20 and work our way all the way up the table. Last season we did this. We're going to do it this season. I have a way as well to try to do it more interactively on the Premier League website, and I'm going to show you guys in the show today how you do it. Basically, you pick it, you hit continue, and you can save a version of your table. So what I want you guys to do, if you want it to be documented, you can follow along with me, and that's why I said this is an interactive show. You can do these things while you're on with me on your other device or whatever, and you just fill it out, hit continue, save it, and you can easily put it in the comment section of the video. You can send it to my IG. There's a number of ways that you can get that to me. And I will keep a document of all of those things. And at the end, we can see who came the closest to picking the season correctly, right? Because last year, I literally had them written down. To me, that is like ridiculous. I can't do that again. So we're going to try to do things a little more efficiently, as I said, this season. So stay tuned, people. We have some really fun stuff tonight on the show. We're going to try to predict the table, try to predict the player of the season. One of my favorite questions when the season starting, who do you guys think will be the first manager to be sacked? Yeah, that's a difficult one as well. We always talk about. But yeah, player of the season, obviously the predictions for the table. So the title winners who will finish in the top 4 places, top 6 places now. And yeah, we're going to discuss all of that in tonight's show. And we're going to close off the show with the predictions for the week. All right. So yeah, that's the running of the show. We're going to try to knock the ball for about a couple of hours. So as you get into the comment section, as you get into the building, please make sure to hit the like button. All right, hit the like button. So let me share this video as well. I hope people have had a good summer. We have been busy around here. My oldest just started high school, so she is in the 9th grade in the United States, and she is going to be on the cheer team for the football, American football, that is. And yeah, so she have her first game actually tomorrow. So looking forward to that. Obviously, get a bonus of seeing some American football high school, but also to see a daughter there on her stage, putting in the performance. Obviously, I will be having more eyes than normal on the cheerleading section. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Very, very happy for her to be able to make the team. It was not a lot of people in her grade that would have made the cheer team to be at the game. So definitely a very good accomplishment for her. And I was very pleased to learn as well that the high school that she currently goes to is ranked #2 in the state which we live in, and I think number 70 now in the entire United States. So yeah, she's going to a very, very good high school, and I am very happy about that. All right. And then my younger daughter, Juliana, she has had a busy summer as well. She's been playing a lot of football. She was recently selected to represent the South region in ODP for her age group. So she will be going to Florida in November to play against the East Coast and the West and the Midwest in like a trial, basically, to see who will be selected for the national program. So big up to Jewel. She was one of only, I think the squad is 18 for the whole entire South region in the ODP program. So yeah, that's a big, big, big look for her. She'll be playing ECNL this year with a new club. So looking forward to that season. So a lot going on with the family this year. That's why we have to try to figure out ways to work a little more efficiently, but we still want to keep the YouTube show and the YouTube channel going. So we're going to definitely bring the EPL content each and every week. So let's not waste any more time, people. Let's get into the program. And first and foremost, like I said, let me do something that I haven't done yet, and that is share this, because yeah. All right, cool. So I have, let's share this screen. Big up to each and everyone passing through. Just make sure to hit the like button, share, subscribe if you're new. Here we go. How the laws of the game are changing. All right, so tackling, time wasting, and fouls on goalkeepers. How referees and VAR will officiate Premier League differently this season. In the Premier League this season, fans will see new rules that have been introduced by the International Football Association Board, IFAB, the organization that oversees the laws of the game. Competitions around the world also have their own framework set for how the game is managed and officiated in their fixtures. The Premier League Football Principles is a framework that is informed by consultation with all of the game's participants, fans, clubs, match officials, and made in agreement between the league and professional game referees, whose referees take charge of the matches. Now, Premier League Football Principles framework, I would want to know, not framework, but the Premier League Football Principles, folks. Please to get Jason Gooner on the fans list of participants for the next time, because I have a lot of good ideas, I think. This is why fans see Premier League matches referees in a different way to matches in Europe, such as a higher threshold for fouls and intervention around video assistant referees. That's an interesting paragraph, because I've always held that I believe it's a disadvantage for the English teams when they play in Europe, because their expectation of what the ref will deem a foul, I think, is different than what they're expecting. So I think as a result, they commit more fouls, and they're potentially going to get carded more. Because I do think in the English league, perhaps they get away with more challenges. The refereeing key points of emphasis are laid out in the table below. So every year they'll have points of emphasis that they want to clean up, so to speak, about their refereeing. And one is maintain a high threshold for penalizing challenges. Not every contact is a foul while protecting player safety. So it looks like the flow of the game is something that they want to try to maintain. The niggly fouls, the smaller, little niggle biting tackles. Yeah, they're not going to really call those so much, which I am okay with. Maintain a high threshold for VAR intervention. Referees' call will stand unless, in the opinion of the VAR, based on the evidence readily available, that a call is a clear and obvious error. Now, that has a lot of ambiguity to it. I think there's a very good reason why they have named it a clear and obvious error, because there's really no way to definitively say what that is. Obviously, if you argue one way or the other, you could make a case that it is or it isn't. But, keeping that wording, I think, is smart in terms of, you don't want to make it. I think that leaves enough open for interpretation to protect referees, whenever they make decisions that people might not agree with. More efficient application of VAR, including the improved use of semi-automated offside technology to reduce VAR delays. Okay, so I don't mind that. The semi-automated offside I love, because I think the administering of the lines being drawn was something that I think the VAR officials struggle with, at least to do it in a timely manner, like this is saying. So that change, I think, is welcome, definitely from me. Continue to focus on in-stadium VAR experience. All right, that don't really help someone like me so much who don't go to the games. Continue a robust approach to improving participant behavior on field and in technical area. So I guess they're going to try to continue to crack down on lashing out at the officials when calls are made that, obviously they don't agree with. Maintain stronger measures to reduce time wasting and disruption tactics. So it's another one that I think everybody that watches football probably would want to be able to be administered. You want the game to continue to flow. In addition to the football principles and refereeing points of emphasis, there are changes to the laws of the game that are mandatory and will be implemented in the Premier League next season. So these are the changes that have been made. Obviously, not necessarily points of emphasis, but things that will just be laws now, from now on. When play stopped for an injury, the player will be required to leave for at least 1 minute, an increase from the 30 seconds previously used. So there's a double the penalty for going down injured. It was 30 seconds before, now it's 1 minute. So, we'll see how tactically teams that are afforded the advantage, when somebody goes off injured, there might be, some different tactics employed just to, take full advantage of the numeric advantage. So we'll see how many coaches really try to use that to gain an advantage. Delays of throw-ins and goal kicks, a 5-second countdown and restart reversal for clearly delaying throw-ins and goal kicks. If the time limit is exceeded, the throw-in is awarded to the opposing team. For a goal kick, the opposing team are awarded a corner. I totally love this rule. Even though it's my team, I think Arsenal probably will be the team most under threat of giving up a throw-in. I don't think we really do it on goal kicks as much, but throw-ins, I don't think it's because we want to waste time per se. I just think there's a very intricate set of movements that happen whenever we get a throw, and it just takes time, honestly. I'm watching Cavalier playing Caribbean Club Championship, Caribbean Cup. That's why I'm kind of looking. But yeah, I love this rule. And I think Arsenal are in trouble. Time limits for subs. A 10-second time limit for players to leave the field. If the time limit is exceeded, the substitute cannot enter until the first stoppage after 1 minute has elapsed. Wow. So this is one where we'll have to see how, first of all, when does the 10 seconds start? Like, is it when the player is like noticeably sees the board, or that's what I would like to know. And also how much will they really enforce this rule, because 10 seconds is not that long. Obviously, the players can leave at any point, so it's not like when they had to run over to the sideline where the fourth official and the substitute are. So with that being said, I don't think there's a point on the pitch where it would take longer than 10 seconds. So I think I'm okay with this. I'm just interested to see how vigilant they are with this particular rule. And again, if it is enforced, how much do the opposing coaches, tweak their tactics to kind of take advantage of that 1 minute plus the 1 minute, and it's also until a stoppage. So it's not like you can come on before the ball goes out of play, which is a difference from the injured players going off. So that's something that you need to notice as well. VAR for second yellows. A VAR review for when second yellow cards are awarded to a player, resulting in a red card, only for when players are awarded a clearly wrong second yellow card rather than a potential second yellow card. So let me read that again. A VAR review for when second yellow cards are awarded to a player, resulting in a red card. So that distinction in the last part there is, if the player gets a yellow card and that results in a red, it's an automatic VAR look at it. If it's a foul and the player's on a yellow and they want to look at it for VAR to see if it deserves a second yellow, that is not allowed. So it could very well be that when players are on a yellow this season, and we'll see if this pans out, when players are on a yellow this season, when they make a challenge, more than likely they're going to get that second yellow, because the ref knows that they're going to look at it on VAR. So if he made an error in giving that second yellow, VAR can kind of bail him out. So this is one that, if you watch any kind of Jamaican club football, this is extremely prevalent. So the goalkeeper tactical timeout. A trial will take place for the 26-27 season, where if the game is stopped for a goalkeeper injury, the manager or head coach will have to nominate an outfield player to leave the pitch immediately. The nominated player has to stay off the pitch for at least 1 minute after the restart of play. ProRef, the organization that manages match officials for the Premier League, says the trial is designed to address occasions where goalkeeper injuries have been used to disrupt momentum, slow the game down, or create opportunities for tactical instruction. So if the game is stopped for a goalkeeper injury, there will be a player that has to come off. And it's a trial period. So there are some new laws that the Premier League have not adopted, right? And some of these you saw at the World Cup. So let's look at those and know that we won't see them in the EPL this year. So VAR being able to review incorrectly awarding corners, the league is not opting to increase the VAR scope where that is concerned. The league already has a protocol in place for drinks breaks to take for matches where the temperature exceeds 30 degrees Celsius at kickoff. So they're not going to do it in every single match like they did at the World Cup. So yeah. Red card protocol around players covering their mouths. The league operates a 3-step discrimination protocol in stadium for player-reported abuse, mistaken identity. So they're not going to give the red card for the covering of the mouth, which we saw a couple of times at the World Cup. Mistaken identity, yellows being reversed for diving. As per the IFAB clarification, a yellow card, which is not a second yellow card, can only be reviewed to identify the player who committed the offense that was penalized. The offense itself cannot be reviewed, changed. So that was something that you could have seen happen in the World Cup. The Premier League has decided not to adopt that. And there's a handbook there you can look at, which, mans like me will read that over and over. But yeah, I just thought that was an interesting article that I wanted to show you guys because, like I said, week to week, it is always a topic. What the hell are these refs doing? So I wanted to show that. So honors and manners to you as well, Jagans. Big up yourself in the building, my G. And big up to CK in the building, my G. Back in the building. Boy, that community shield was rough, CK. I know you were kind of looking at that and wondering, boy, is this what the season is going to look like? All right, so people, I want to go ahead and predict the Premier League table, right? So right now, I want to predict the Premier League table. So let me show you guys how I plan on doing this. And this is the Premier League predictor. So this is on the Premier League's website. A lot of fun things you can do on here. Quizzes, games. You have obviously FPL that we're going to show later in the show as well. But they have this table predictor for 26-27, and it is a game for a grand prize, so you can try to win it. But I'm going to show you guys what I have come up with for my top 20 in the Premier League. And you guys can definitely look for this as well. Let me see. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. So if anybody wants to do this, you can. So this is the game. Basically, you click on that link right there and you will see that you can do what I'm doing on here. So I have the Premier League table here, and I had somewhat started doing it, but I'm going to go through and tweak perhaps while I talk about it. But I do have one team from the Championship staying up. I think Coventry City, even though I think Ipswich Town has done really good business, I just have a feeling like Lampard will figure out a way to navigate the league enough to get Coventry over the line. I think they're a team that, have an identity as a team and how they play. I think they work hard for each other. They have a knack for finding results maybe when they shouldn't have gotten the result. Now, will that translate into the league above? That's the major question, and that's probably why I have them low down and close to relegation still. But I think that Hull City, for me, I think it would be, the coaching staff would have to get tremendous praise if Hull City stays in this division, just based on the squad, based on everything that we would have seen over the course of the championship. I think they did have a great run to end off the season, and obviously, caught fire at the right time. Needed a bit of help as well from some controversy, but in the end, they got there, and you have to give them their credit. But I think they go right back down. Ipswich Town, I think they have actually made some halfway decent moves in this transfer window. But again, for me, I just feel like they're gonna struggle. The Premier League is a difficult division. I mean, and that goes for all three of the promoted teams. But I just think Ipswich Town, they brought in NC, so that's a very good arrival. They got Emerson, the Brazilian from France, from Toulouse. They got Fatau. They got Abdul Atara, who was at Strasbourg. Florentino, who didn't really get much chance with what them name, West Ham or Burnley, sorry. So yeah, they've made some moves in the off season. Picked up Issa Diop as well, who had a good World Cup for Morocco. Lukic came over from Fulham. So they have done some decent business. When you contrast that with the likes of a Hull City, they have basically got the young centre back from La Liga. Salakis, the goalkeeper from Olympiacos, had a good outlay on him. They got Harrington over from Colorado in the MLS for about 15 million. So they have done some buying. They got Gelbart, who has been in this division before, but not really the type of signings that I think push the needle. when you talk about coming into this division this season. Between them and Ipswich, I'd have to say that Ipswich has it looks like they have done a better job of getting players in. I think Maeda was a really good signing from Celtic. 28 years of age, so still has a lot left to give. But yeah, I think Enciso, Maeda, as a decent little look there. Seeing those signings, I wonder, do I slide them in here, drop Coventry down? Right now I have Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest. But I'm gonna say Palace stays good. Forest. Am I gonna drop Forest out of the Premier League, people? I don't know. I have a feeling like they're gonna be in and around that conversation again. But do they have enough? I mean, obviously Elliot Anderson, who was a huge part of the team last year, he has made the move for a bag of money, 135 million euros, 116 million pounds. But when you look at who has come in, they did get Diomande from Sporting, who I think was one of the let me see. Yeah, he was one of they got Diomande over from Sporting. So that's like the biggest outlay they had. And they got an attacking midfielder from Portugal. He came over. And they got some free transfers as well. But they loaned Sa back out as soon as they signed him. They sold Awani. So they pretty much have a lot of the same players going into this season now. Oliver Glasner is the manager. And I think Oliver Glasner is a manager that, for me, should be able to do enough. Omar Richards came back. Wow. Is he in the squad? Looks like he's linked with a move away to the Greek league. But Oliver Glasner, people. Oliver Glasner worked some place in the table, Alright, I've got drop down Palace. Mateta and them's guys. Them going to drop out of the league, I wanna say. Alright, so I feel strongly about Hull and Ipswich. And it's like I'm trying to find another team to go down, but I'm going around Coventry, who is probably the most likely to go back down. Last year though, two of them survived. So I'm like, is it gonna be another season like that? I don't know. So they lost Lacroix, Brennan Johnson. Got Kaleli, Dwight McNeil, Mingueza, Xavier Gozo, Tomiyasu. So this man play the same system. That's one thing, Palace. That's a good signing as manager because he plays the same system like they've been playing. That's a good thing for them. All right, so look, I am gonna keep it right there. So yeah, those three in that order. Ipswich 18. I actually think Forest is gonna be dropping down further. I think Palace won't be as bad. I think Sunderland will struggle with the Europe strain. Bournemouth, I mean, can you do it again? Iraola is gone. You lost more players again. You still have Krupi, but him out at first to start the season. I think Newcastle is going to struggle. I think Leeds is going to do better than people think. So I'm going to actually move them up to 11. Actually, I'll put them in 10th. I think they're my surprise top 10 team. And then this is how I have the top of the table. I'm going with Arsenal to win it again. Last year, they won the league, and I did not select them to win the league. But this year, I just think that we have done enough in the transfer market to set ourselves up to go for another run. I'm still not overly thrilled with the options altogether in certain areas of the attack, but I do think that just based on what I've seen in the preseason and in the Community Shield, that some of the players that were there last year are just going to have better seasons. I think Gyökeres, while they can't really see it right now, probably because of, obviously his touches, it is what it is. But I think the overall framework of the team will probably provide him more chances this year. And even though he had 14 Premier League goals last year, I think, if given the time, even if it's, which I think it will be a lot of cameos and off the bench, I think he has the potential to score a lot of goals off the bench late in games. It's going to be Havertz, it looks like, to lead the line. And he does things that I really like, and he does other things that I really hate. But I think, again, with him, the team just looks to function better as a unit more than when it's Gyökeres. Some people said, just give me a striker that's just going to run in behind and finish. But I think the way Arsenal play with that low block that we face a lot, you're going to need that player to drag defenders all over the place, and that really and truly is Havertz more than Gyökeres. So I think, Havertz will probably be the one leading the line most of the time. We've seen all the big games recently where they're both fit. It's always Havertz. So I don't think that will change. But I do think Arsenal do lift the Premier League again. My second pick is probably a surprise to some people. Chelsea is who I'm going with, and it's a couple of reasons why. The first reason, I think Xabi Alonso has probably a clearer vision of what he wants than any of the managers that Chelsea have been going to lately. And we know that Chelsea has the ability, due to all the assets they have, to sell and get money and get new players in really quickly. And we saw that this summer as well with Chelsea. They have done a lot of moving, have had a lot of moving parts as far as the club is concerned. And I just think that, he'll have a better grasp of how to build this team, right, to make it be successful, I think. Now, the Rodgers signing a lot of money, but I do think that Rodgers would be good for this system. And it's just going to be interesting to see what system exactly Xabi Alonso ends up going with. I think that, the last... Yeah, because, Xabi Alonso typically likes the 3-4-2-1. And he has been playing a back four, but in the build-up and when they have the ball, it kind of becomes that system. So that's probably what he'll do. He'll defensively might go into a 4, but on the ball he'll kind of morph it into what he likes, the 3-4-2-1 type of setup. Now my thing is, there are some players there like Morgan Rogers, Cole Palmer. I think they will really suit that 3-4-2-1 setup where they're not really natural wingers. they're more finding the half space or those pockets. And I think that also helps out Pedro as well, because I think not Pedro Neto, but João Pedro, because I think that helps him to be either or. He can play that target or that point man in that setup, or he can play one of the roles just off of that player as well. So I think those three players in particular really benefit. Then you look at a Pedro Neto and even at Estevao, they are more natural wingers. And I wonder, the Gittins, the Modrics, the Estevaos, the Netos, is it that they'll become wing backs in this setup to get more space or get to be able to receive the ball more in the spaces that they like? So there's a lot of tactical things that he has to work with. And I think the fact that they'll have the one game, I think you'll see something similar to what you saw with Man U last year, where I think a big contributor, besides obviously making the change to Carrick when they did, was the fact that they could really prepare for these Premier League games with no Europe. So that's why I have a feeling that Chelsea will finish all the way up there. Now, Aston Villa have lost players. I get that. They're kind of rebranding a bit with the players. I think Kanza as well has left and gone to Chelsea. To Arsenal. But I just have this feeling like Unai Emery being at the club for the time he's been at the club, the players who are there and have been there will be enough to kind of keep them going through. And I just think, I do worry about the strains of Europe with them, because they're kind of losing a lot of players. But I think when you look at some of the youth movement that they have coming and getting game time, I think they'll have enough. Those guys can play in Europe if need be, if he doesn't trust them so much in the Premier League. So I don't think he'll have to necessarily put a huge strain on all the players that will play in the Premier League. So I think he'll be able to navigate it. Emery, as a more experienced manager, he's, I think, the second longest tenured manager in the Premier League, which is kind of crazy. So I think with all the moving parts in management around the league, I just feel like that continuity of their manager will help them a lot this season. So even though Chelsea's manager is brand new and I'm putting him second, I just think Chelsea have more in regards to depth and numbers, and they'll have less games to play. So that's what gives me the edge. But I do think that Arsenal should, have a pretty sizable margin over whoever comes second in this season. Honestly, I really feel that way. I think we got 85 points last year. I don't see us getting below that, just based on what we did in terms of the wins and draws and losses. And I don't see a team out there that's going to get, over like 80. I think everybody else will be 70 odd. So, with that being said, I just think Arsenal should be able to win this league pretty comfortably if it plays out. I think Man City, if you had asked me before the Community Shield, I probably would have had it like this, with Man City second. But I think I didn't put enough stock in Maresca and how Maresca kind of deals with the media, and the minute that City not winning, what that looks like. And I know it's kind of crazy, but I kind of have a feeling like when I have the conversation about the first sacked manager this season, Maresca to me should be in the convo, because I just feel like he's highly combustible when it comes to the media. And with City being as dominant as they have been, with Pep leaving the shadow that he's going to leave, I don't know. I just feel like, can he handle it? That we're going to find out. But I'm putting them fourth mainly because of the quality. Just have a lot of quality in the team still, But honestly, now that I'm really thinking about it, I have to put United ahead of them. I think United did some things in the off season. I probably it was funny is it's kind of like how Arsenal would have done their summer like some seasons ago. That's what it looked like to me. Like some of the people that they ended up getting, I don't think that if they really had everything that they wanted, they would go for those players. But Tielemans coming over for 41 and Andre Santos for 56, and that's euros. Those were the big arrivals, really. There haven't been much else done. Now, that makes sense in terms of the attacking options because, last year they did have a huge outlay on attacking players. I'm a bit surprised that they didn't do anything about the defensive options that they have. I think that to me would have been the next step in terms of, getting closer to the Arsenals of the world in the league, but they haven't been able to do so. So yeah, they did lose just Casemiro really as a first teamer. They sold permanently Rasmus Højlund, and they did loan out Bayern there as a goalkeeper backup. But yeah, Casemiro gone. In comes Tielemans. In comes Andre Santos. Of course, they still have Kobe Menu, Mason Mount. So they have some options in that midfield. The thing with them that I want to see is, how much does Carrick, utilize his squad to get through the season with more games? Because I think it was a huge advantage for them to not have Europe going on. Yeah, but I'm going to actually put United in the top 4 over City. I think City end up somewhere around 5th, 6th, 7th. To be honest, these 3 teams right here, I feel like could go either way. I'm gonna actually slide City down to 6th and put Liverpool to 5th. But I think honestly, from all of these places here, from 2 to about 7, 8, will probably be pretty tight towards the end of the season. And these teams will be a little bit further down, I think a little bit further down. But let's just recap before I hit continue and lock in my scores. Or not my scores, but my pre-season predictions for the table. So Hull City I have in 20th, Coventry in 19th, Ipswich in 18th. I have Nottingham Forest again escaping the relegation zone. Newcastle will flirt with danger for a while but be okay. Sunderland will start out decent but fade as the European games and the strain starts to show more. Bournemouth I have in 14th, just enough quality in the attacking third. Defensively they're decent as well, even though they lost players. I think they have a good goalkeeper, so they'll be okay. Not in relegation, but not the best season for them. Crystal Palace, I'll put them at 13th. I think a part of me wants to say they'll have a better season, but a part of me is like, nah, they'll probably be around there. Fulham, I'll put at 12th. I think Fulham at parts of the season will flirt with Europe, but will not have enough in the end to get all the way there. Everton, I think, will just be around the middle of the table most of the season. Leeds, another team I think could flirt with Europe at times, but I think they will fall just short of that. Brentford, I have Keith Andrews kind of showing that it wasn't a fluke, but still not enough to get into Europe this year. Brighton, I think, will be in and around with Spurs, with City, with Liverpool for that 5th area. Maybe even flirt with the Champions League places, but again, I think in the end they'll fall short. Spurs will make a big leap in the table. I think they currently are basically finalizing Savinho as well, so they're getting players in. They have gotten some good business in already. I can't be biased as a Gooner. I think Tottenham, people will say, oh, they spent a lot of money, but I mean, who cares? They needed to do something. So, they have done some moves. Sandro Tonali came over for 108 million euros. Mateus Fernandes for 99 million euros. Van Heck for 60 million euros. They got Senesi on a free. That's like a steal right there. They got Andy Robertson on a free. Dubravka on a free. They have really done some decent business. And they have made good sales as well in terms of collecting money. They sold Vuskovic to Brighton for 54 million after selling them Van Heck. So it was kind of like a swap. The Croatian is only 19 years of age. So he's one for the now and the future. Christian Romero sold to Atletico Madrid for 40 mil. Club captain Jed Spence, who just recently made the World Cup roster, had a decent World Cup as well. they shipped him out while he was gonna get some good value for 30 million to Italy. Italian clubs don't have that much money, so probably would have gotten about double that, or at least 15 million more if he could have sold him to a Premier League club, but took the 30 million. So they did have some income coming. I mean, they're about a negative 101 million euros in transfers this summer. But I think when you look at who they have brought in, they have done a decent job. Senesi and Van Heck is a decent pairing. If Van de Ven is ever experimented as a left back, you can play those two players as well. I think Fernandez and Tonali, two players that automatically come in and can start for you. Definitely Tonali, maybe Fernandez might be a rotational piece. They do still have the likes of Bentancur. I think Berval is on his way out. They have Archie Gray, depending on where the Zerbi sees Archie Gray as a player. He really is a defensive midfielder, but he's been playing everywhere under these Tottenham managers with all the injuries. So look, I think Tottenham will be better than people probably think this season, but we shall see how it ends up. But like I said, Fulham, Everton, I think Leeds shock some people and get into the top 10. Brentford in 9th, Brighton in 8th, Spurs in 7th, Man City down to 6th. I know that's crazy. Crazy to even see them there, but I think it's possible this season with what they have, the moves they have made, losing Rodri. It's going to be too much for them. Liverpool, I think I have them in 5th. Man United, I'll put at 4th. Villa, probably a surprise to a lot of people, but I have them 3rd. I think Emery continuity, style of play that they know already. Yeah, I think they'll be right there. Chelsea, I think, finishes 2nd. No European games will help a lot. And I do have Arsenal finishing again at the top of the table. So let me hit continue. Drag the slider to predict how many points the champions will get. So let me see. Get my calculator. It's 38 games, right? So it's 38 games, matches. So last year we got 85 points, 26 wins, 7 draws, 5 losses. Okay. So this year, I think we'll get up to 29 wins. Five draws, 4 losses. No, 29 wins, 6 draws, 3 losses. Yeah. 29 wins, 6 draws, 3 losses. That's what I think Arsenal will do. Remember that, people. 29 wins, 6 draws. So I have Arsenal finishing on 93 points. Submit. All right, so my predictions have been recorded. We'll share this. Let me put it to me, and then I will. Oh, let me not do this. Hold on. Share it to. So why can't it? Okay. So hold on, I can't wait name there. Okay, there we go. Where can I paste it? We can. All right, so it's somewhere. All right, cool. Some of that saved now, people. Screenshot this. Nice. All right, so have it. So have it, people. Have it, people. Have it. So that's what I think will happen. You know what I mean? Bless up to BM in the building. Big up to Pristine in the building. Yeah, man. Forward to another year again. I'm surprised Fulham got rid of Jimenez. He scored 9 goals in the league. Still think he could have been useful in the EPL. Well, I mean, it wasn't even get rid of him. Jimenez wanted to go back to Wolves and help them. You know? Remember, say Wolves a theme club where him love him. A theme club that, you know. So he saw them get relegated and wanted to go help them. So he decided that's what he wanted to do. You know, I don't think it was really a case of, you know, they wanted to get rid of him per se, but I mean, Arbeloa came in. It's not Marco Silva anymore. I think Muniz, the Brazilian, is there waiting in the wings to become the guy. Just had some injuries last year that kind of stopped his progression. But I think Gonzalo coming over from Madrid will help too. I think he's gonna be probably a player nobody not thinking about that does decent in the Prem this year. So part of why I have Fulham kind of being successful is just, you know, sometimes just a change of the voice will help. And I think Fulham always, you know, plays decent enough football. They can get results. They just lacked a bit of consistency, and maybe, you know, a new voice, a different energy to the team might, you know, just give them that level of consistency that they miss sometimes. I just think they'll be okay this season. I think they'll do better than people probably think. Yo, big up Jordan. Big up yourself, my G. We're there, we're there, we're there. All right, so the next thing I want to do, people, since I've done the predictions for that, let's just have a discussion right now with the people in the building. Please make sure you're liking and sharing the content. I would like to ask you guys some questions about who you think will take home the awards for the season. So, who do you think will be the player of the season? Who will be POTS? Am I a hypocrite if I'm a Coventry fan this year? No, I don't think so, Bala. I don't think you are going against anybody if you do that, because I don't think you had a club before. You always say, no, I hear nothing about EPL. They want to hear about Jamaica, and the player them will play for Jamaica. So Coventry in the Premier League would have the most Jamaican players. So I understand. You should be a fan of Coventry. You should be a fan of Brentford, even though Pinnock, I don't think Pinnock play much these days. I think that's it, right? Coventry and Brentford. Oh, Brentford has Rico Henry too, who should be playing. So yeah, that's good. So yeah, Brentford and Coventry need to be going for. But yeah, I don't think he'd be a hypocrite baller because he's not on the team. I don't think. So yeah, player of the season. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes, you have to look at him. I don't see his numbers falling in terms of the assists. Maybe he won't get 20 again, but I think he'll have a lot because Carrick definitely made it a point of emphasis to get him more involved further forward, and I don't think that will change. So he'll get more opportunities to affect the game in the final third. Didn't have the best of World Cups though, it has to be said. When you look at like how Odegaard played in the World Cup compared to Bruno, it was like the opposite of what their Premier League seasons were like. Even though Odegaard did end off the season decent, I thought, he was very inconsistent last year in his performance. And yeah, part of it was injury and everything, but I think he just was out of form and confidence as well. Jaguars, Jamaica have Ephraim Mason Clark, who just recently joined us for the playoffs that we just played. He plays left wing for them. And then you have Joel Latibo there as well, who plays centre back for them most of the time, but can play a utility right back role at time. But I think Lampard sees him as a centre back, so that's where he usually plays under Lampard. So Latibo there and Mason Clark. Yeah. So 2. Ephraim Mason Clark. Yes, player of the season. So look to the Arsenal team. Can it be Raya, a keeper? Could it be Gabriel? Attacking wise, I think Saka has a lot to prove this year, so I think his numbers will be much better. Solis has been very prolific in preseason, but I just think with Arsenal's squad being so big, I worry that it will be tough numbers wise to get a player of the season from Arsenal. I wonder though, if we do get 93 points and win the league by as much as I think we will, then yeah, I feel like could it be a player like Palmer if he has a rejuvenation? João Pedro has been looking menacing in preseason. Could see him, being in with a shout if he gets the numbers and stays fit. So there's a lot of players out there, but I think he has a point to prove, people. Player of the season this season. Because people still have this debate that he's not a world-class player. I think Bukayo Saka. Breakout. Back to the numbers of 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Bukayo Saka. When we see the plots in people, say, oh, it's over. It's over. It's over. Saka is going to get back to a different level again. All right, so look, I'm going out on a crazy limb. I think rotation will be at play, but I think in the Premier League, Saka will be the go-to. I think Madueke will play more in the Cup, the Champions League group stage even, or league phase even. I think Saka will be the go-to guy in the Premier League. Most likely the 3 promoted teams will get relegated this season. And I think Saka will actually stay fit because he won't have to be overworked. You don't want to bring on Madueke in the Premier League when Saka tired. All right, bring on Max then. Bring on Ethan if he's still around. If we haven't loaned him out. Most likely the 3 promoted teams will get relegated. Yeah, BM, I actually agree with you on that. I'm going with Ipswich, Coventry, and Hull to get relegated in that order, 18, 19, 20. I recall that info. Yeah, man. Nothing to talk about where Jamaica is concerned. I wouldn't be surprised if the team is fighting to stay in League A. Yeah, BM, look, if you haven't noticed, I haven't made content for a little while. The U14s had a tournament they played, and I kind of didn't cover it on YouTube because I was kind of upset with how the JFF kind of dealing with it. Like, I didn't know anybody who played for the team until literally the first match card. Well, I shouldn't say that. I knew some people who played for the team because I follow different academies and schools that would have posted their players, getting selected and congratulating them. So that's how I knew some of the names. But nothing official from the JFF page with a list, where the players play, none of that stuff. You look around the CFU, who's taking part in this under 14, and the Grenadiers of the world, the St. Kitts of the world, Antiguas of the world. I mean, you name a country, a nation participating in this thing, and you can go to their IG page and you see faces and names and where they come from and what position and all these things. And Jamaica, just nothing. It's just like, I don't get it. I don't understand why they don't think that these things are important. Like, just doesn't make any sense to me. But anyway, because I was upset about that and everything and how they were dealing with it, say, what? Why should I be out here trying to tell people about this when they're not even trying to help somebody like me that they know will come with the content to bring and let people be informed and teach them about the players. Like, bro, them joke out everything. So me just say, you know what, I'm not killing out myself to make this content. It never really worked with me either the times at the games, because in a tournament like that, I love to be live and talking in real time about the players and what's going on. But timing with work and stuff, it never worked out with the early morning stuff. So congrats to them though. They're going to be playing in a semi-final game tomorrow, against Bermuda, I believe. So good luck to them. I think I have to check and tell you what time that game is. I don't remember right now, but yeah, look out for that, people, tomorrow. It's been on YouTube and CFU official, I think is the name of the channel. And that's Caribbean Football Union official. So yeah, they should have the game on there tomorrow against Bermuda. I think the other semi-final is Haiti and Damrep. So we'll see. I'll not be surprised if the player of the season will be Bruno G of Arsenal. That would be amazing. I'm going with Saka. I think he's gonna have a bounce back season personally, but we'll see. I could see, Bruno being up there again. I think João Pedro is a decent shout. I think Palmer to have a rejuvenated season is a shout. Obviously, you can't not think of Haaland as a player of the season option. I just worry that they won't finish high enough in the table for him to win that. But yeah. One Barca, Rodri gone at your place, Conrad is supposed to happy. The administration can use the failure program. Look at the disastrous U20. Canada wasn't better than us. Poor coach and administration were problems. Yeah, I don't know if the U20 was disastrous, BM. I mean, we're one game away, so disastrous is a bit crazy of a take, but I guess it's a disaster once you don't qualify, to be fair to how you're thinking about it. I think it was some coaching decisions that were questionable in terms of selection of the team, composition of the team. But yeah, I don't know if Canada wasn't better than us either. No, man, I know what you're talking about. I'm just talking about the U14 that I hadn't been around to the tournament. I was just kind of saying why. But no, I knew you were talking about staying in League A for the Nations League, though. Yeah. Jagans dapping up the bridging them in the chat. We say captain soon for Rodri. Wait, who captain Barcelona now? Whenever Frankie play him weird sometime. I know Arujo was one of them, but him barely ever did play. So who the hell captain Barcelona last year most of the time? Oh, Rafinha. Yeah, Rafinha with the armband. The man just get it time work hard. Yo, Senesi was a free transfer, you know. Oh, am I the captain? No. Oh, okay, Rafinha the captain. No. Look at the first goal we conceded. The player stood still while Canada player walked to our defense and scored. Joke thing, bro. I know I'm still vexed. No, they didn't stand still. They fucking got beat. The man just dribbled through the whole of them. Simple. It looked horrible because they get beat so easy. But I mean, they didn't want him to just dribble through them. The man did it. His close control was good. And him shoot against the grain and freeze the keeper. I mean, yeah, it's if you're a fan of something and your team lose, 95% of the time, if your first instinct is going to be my guys suck or my coach suck or this suck. But sometimes the other team does blood not better. So I think where you going wrong in your reasoning right now to me is this first statement where it's a Canada wasn't better than us. Like, why you think that? So player of the season, I'm going with Saka. Manager of the season, manager of the season, right? Because of the points total, I'm going Arteta again. So like I said, I think we're going to get 93 points. So it'll be a nice outlay. And I think we're going to win the league by about 15 or so, maybe even, 15 to 20 points. Big, 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 big margin. Big margin. All right, so player of the season, Saka. Manager of the season, Arteta. Now, first manager sacked. Since there's 20 managers, I'm going to just throw 3 names out. And I think it will be one of those 3 names. First one, Maresca. Now, hear me out, people. I think Maresca was probably going to be the successor to Pep for a while. I think he has known, his relationship with the club before. They probably wanted to get somebody that was recently with Pep to be the successor. Obviously, Arteta maybe being the one that they would want the most, but probably didn't even approach him knowing that his project is about to pop off and he's not going to leave now to go back to where he came from. So yeah. So I think Maresca would have been the second choice in that list of Pep, assistants. I never thought that the new assistant last year, Pep Linders, would become that, the successor. So Maresca is there. I think he's a candidate based on what I've seen of him when he was at Chelsea. When he had any kind of disagreements with the top brass, he would come out and say it publicly. I just think that he maybe doesn't understand the post-match, pre-match stuff yet, as well as he maybe will in the future if he continues to manage. But I just think he puts his foot in his mouth a lot. And I think, the first sign of any problems in terms of dropping points, losing games, any consecutive losses, the constant, when Pep did this, or when Pep was here, or Pep, I think he's going to like blow up at some point, and just the pressure of it might get to him. But again, it's all contingent on like how the results are. Obviously that's an obvious statement, but I think with him it's even more, because I just feel like him have the chance to really go crazy in one of them press conferences and could make the strain. Even when it comes down to like talking about players in the team, unfavorably. I just feel like he did some things at Chelsea that would make you think that in his mind he feels like he can speak like a Pep would speak or a Mourinho would speak, and he hasn't really done anything yet. So, at least at this level, I mean, he won the championship, so I can't take that from him. But yeah, and he did win the Club World Cup too. Which I have to be fair, he did win that too. But yeah, I just feel like he's potentially just the shadow, the cloud over the club that Pep will leave. I think Maresca going to struggle. I think he's going to struggle to handle that pressure, right? I'm not going to put him in the 3, but I want to mention him because I thought about this and I was thinking about this earlier today. Even though I have them finishing 7th, just in and around Europe, I feel like even the Zerbi, he's, for the same reasons I just gave for Maresca, combustible in the press. They've spent a lot of money. If it doesn't go right, I start asking questions, I don't know how he's gonna react. He might ask for more time, which will be met with, more time. He just spent all his money, but I'm not gonna put him in the 3. I think it's gonna go okay for them, or at least okay enough for them to where they're not like looking for a new manager in this season. I think they'll hold on to him. So the other managers that I think could be at risk, it's a bit harsh, I think, but I'm gonna say, just because we saw it happen last year with all the teams that got relegated just about, I feel like Hull City's manager, Jakirovic, who was appointed to start out who was appointed, let me see. Yeah, the start of last season. I think he will be at risk. I do have them in my predicted table finishing last. So I'll say, at some point he might be a candidate to be sacked during this season. And the other manager, I told you I was going to give you 3. So far I have Maresca and Jakirovic from Hull City. So I think a club that will flirt with some relegation scare is actually Newcastle. And I think when you look at the players they have, it's probably like, they should be fine. They really should be fine. But I just worry, with the manager coming in. He's a younger manager. He's been over there in the Saudi League. He did win the Asian Champions League 2 seasons running with Al Ali, but well, maybe it's not 2 seasons running, but he won 2 of them while he was there. He was at Salzburg prior to that in Austria, and then moved on to Al Ali shortly thereafter. So his first foray into the European game, again, a young manager, taking over a Newcastle team, maybe good for him, not the highest expectations, but I still feel like he's a candidate that's up there to get let go because I think they believe they're taking a bit of a gamble with him, perhaps. But who knows? He might just be a revelation. I'm going to say he won't be, and he'll be at risk of losing his job in this season. So I'm going with two that maybe people don't think would be there, Maresca and Jasla from Newcastle. But Jakirovic would probably be my favorite, the Hull City manager, to lose his job first. But we'll see how close or off the mark I am with that prediction there. All right, so what we're doing on time. So I have about 45 more minutes. So let me get into the weekly prediction. So how we're gonna get this going? Yeah, I saw that. I saw that today, BM. I can't wait to watch that. Should be good. All right, so this is how we're going to do our stuff this season. So let me get this on screen. So I'm going to be teaming up with Super Brew. Big ups to Mas Una for this one because Mas is who I saw with this, and I said, yeah, you know what? I'm going to utilize this for this season. I haven't approved my message yet, and our cover is not up yet, but this is the JGTV EPL prediction or EPL predictor, Premier League predictor. And basically, all you need to do is I'm going to show you here. Hold on. So let's go to this. Let's invite players. So they have an app and they have something else, but this is in the description, people, what I'm about to copy and paste into the chat. But just so it's here as well. Now I know last year we used to do it by just me coming on here and just taking down your scores. And while that was great and everything, I just feel like I can't really keep up with that this year, just doing it manually all the time. I have way too much going on, too much traveling to do on the weekends with games, and it just won't work. So what I've decided is to utilize this as a way to keep up with the score predictions each and every week. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the first week right here in real time as I go through each game, and yeah, we'll just do it that way. Now I still want to give you guys some of the information. So prior to doing the selection, I'm gonna go through what I would normally do in the previous shows, which is just look at a preview of the games themselves, try to see what's up in terms of obviously this week it won't be much to view in terms of statistically. Obviously, there are no stats yet for the season, so there's no way to really match up the teams. But we can look at certain things like who's the referee, obviously which team is hosting the game. What I think would be helpful in the first week of the season, I'll probably just go through the squads of both teams so you guys can familiarize yourselves with who is actually still in the team. Interestingly, I don't believe that it will show me everything up to the second of what's going on with these squads. I don't think Kanza was announced yet today, but by all intents and purposes, that's going to happen. So, yeah, he won't be listed here, but we can still talk about it. So, yeah, man, the FPL League is set up, my G. Let me drop that link actually in the comment section because I have that set up already. So Fantasy Premier League. Okay. Leagues. All right, so Jagans, this is the link for the fantasy. But yeah, use that link for the prediction as well, Jagans, because basically that's how we're going to do the score predictions this year. Hopefully the people can see it. I'm gonna have it as a comment in the comment section underneath the video, and it's also in the description of the video. Instructions to join the FPL and also get in on the action for the picks from week to week. So let's get the picks in. All right, so that's the first game. Arsenal and Coventry City. So of course Arsenal got the better of. Yeah, man, join up, man. So Arsenal got the better of City last week in Cardiff, 3-0 in the Community Shield. Raya played that game like he's in mid-season form. And Arsenal did bend a bit, give up a few chances here and there, but they were so in control of that game, the midfield especially, Skelly and Bruno first half, and then Skelly and Rice majority of the second half really controlled the middle part of the park. I think Odegaard was back to his best as a player. I think the World Cup would have done him a world of good to his confidence, to just his overall gameplay. And he definitely saw a different Martin Odegaard in that game. If that continues throughout the season, that dominance in midfield, Odegaard really being that type of impact player. I have to say that Arsenal, like I said, are going to run away with this league. I have Saka as the player of the season. I have Arteta as the manager of the season. And yeah, I just think we're going to start off the season well. I'll give us another 3 goals again, and I'll say we keep a clean sheet again. So I'll go with a 3-0 win. A 3-0 win to Arsenal in the first game of the season at the Emirates. Clean sheet for Raya and the rest. And 3 goals on the day. Hopefully, my pick for player of the season gets off the mark tomorrow. All right, so you see what happens, people. I'm going to lock in that score as well. So lock to see other players' picks before kickoff. 3-0. Once you lock, you can't change your pick. So I'm locking it in, people. And I'm telling them, don't show me this again. All right, so I've locked that in. 3-0. 98% of the people that pick these games are expecting them to win. 1% predict a draw, and then less than 1% predict Coventry to win. Those must be Coventry fans. All right, so 3-0. All right, now. So Hull versus Man United. That will be the early or the afternoon kickoff in England. Hull back in the Premiership. So they will be at the MKM Stadium. Darren England will be the referee for this one. Hull City didn't do much in the transfer market. They got Jack Butland, Zolakis, I think, the goalkeeper. They got a few other players in. Harrington came over from the MLS. You saw him in the World Cup. I think he took a penalty in that shootout, if I'm not mistaken. Did not convert it, but young player. I think he's only like 18 years of age. But do they have enough? Do they have enough is the question. Zambrano came over on a free from Ecuador. They still be relying a lot on Oliver McBurney, who has been in the division before. But yeah, I just don't see them as having enough. But I do think on day one, home fans, that stadium will be crazy. I can see them eking out something. So I'm gonna go with a 2-2 draw in match week 1. Actually, I'm gonna go with a 1-1 draw in match week 1. The Man U fans won't like this prediction, but honestly, nah. Hull City ain't getting nothing out of this. I think they score. I think they give the fans a moment. I think they give their fans a moment, but they lose the game. I'm gonna go 2-1 to Man U. And I've locked in my pick. Everton versus Crystal Palace. So this one, I'm gonna say the Toffees win. Actually, no. I'm gonna go with a 1-1 draw. Lock in. Ipswich versus Sunderland. Let's go with Ipswich 1, Sunderland 2. Nottingham Forest and Leeds. Nottingham Forest 1, Leeds 3. Brentford versus Tottenham. I think Tottenham will have a good season, but I don't think they get off to the best start in the world. Brentford win this one 2-1. Brighton versus Aston Villa. I could see this one being an entertaining one. Brighton 2, Villa 2. Man City versus Bournemouth. I think the Maresca, the voices, the noises get louder as they concede twice to draw and get a point against Bournemouth. I don't want to change it, boss. Leave me alone. Bournemouth have never beaten City since they've been in the Premier League at home or away, sorry. So I don't think they're going to beat them, but let's see. This game is always a mad game, this Newcastle game, but I think it will be mad again. I think they won 3-2 last year. This time they'll win 3-1. And Fulham Chelsea, this game will be Monday, I believe. Yep, Monday at 3. West London derby to start the season. I think Chelsea gonna win. Yep, so I've picked my picks. Let's see. So how can I see all of them? All right. There are way to. View all. All right, so just to recap, I'm going 3-0 Arsenal over Coventry. I'm going 2-1 Man United over Hull City. 1-1 Everton and Palace. 2-1 Sunderland over Ipswich Town. Leeds United 3, Nottingham Forest 1, Brentford 2, Tottenham 1, Brighton 2, Aston Villa 2, Man City 2, Bournemouth 2, Liverpool 3, Newcastle 1, Chelsea 2, Fulham 1. That closes out the first 10 fixtures of the Premier League. Those are my picks, people. There must be a way to kind of look at these. Yeah, this is what I wanted right here. So yeah, these are the picks. So there's my pick summary right there on screen. Make sure that they send me this email as well. So my picks are locked in for the week. And I'll do this from week 1 to week 38 here so you guys can see. Trust me, all you need to do, people, is click on the link. Let me drop it again in the comment section. This link is in the comments already, but I'm going to drop it again. Kevin Mitchell wanted to know. So this is the predictor. Oh, shoot. It's too long. I shouldn't drop it here, so. Okay, let me do it over this side then. Let me see, did this break it up? Yeah, so join that there. Is there a code for my fantasy? Oh, if you click on this link, Jagans, if you click on the pin link, click on the link that I just pinned in the comment section. If you click on that right there, that should take you directly into it. As a matter of fact, Jagans, if you played last year, it should still be there. I mean, I think it's the same thing. I'm not sure though. Maybe not, but which game Arsenal are gonna lose? I think Arsenal will lose. We'll lose to Man United one time again. I just think they always beat us once. We've had the voodoo over Chelsea for a while, but I think they beat us in one game this year. And I think we have a random loss too. I think we lose to a random team, like one team that on paper we shouldn't lose to. We're gonna lose to. So whether that's like a Fulham or a Leeds or somebody random, Brighton. Yeah, I think we lose one of those games too. So I'll go with 3 losses, 5 draws, and 6 draws and 29 wins for 93 points. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. Yeah, man, the pin link, it should be an auto join link. So when you click it, it just automatically joins you to that team or to that league. And then once you make your team, obviously it will just be in that league too. But yeah, this Super Brew thing, people, is how I'm gonna do it moving forward with the picks. Let's see, leaderboard, JGTV. Predictions. View all. Okay, wait. Leaderboard. That's not what we wanted to see. Round results. For leaderboard. More info. Who is daring porcupines? What is this? So who put me in this? Not sure which league this is, but I'm in there somehow. I must be Mass League, that's the only other person I know. Picks. Yep. So those are my picks again, people. So the only clean sheet Arsenal, but I'm a biased one. Bless up Apache. Bless up, bless up, bless up. So Apache, new style this year. If you want to be the predictions, just click on that link right there in the comment section, that Super Brew link. Basically, just attach an email, sign up, and you'll be inside this league. So it will keep track of all our predictions each week. We can look at it, see what other people pick. Once you lock in your picks, basically you can view what everybody else pick and you can see how everybody else doing, and it will actually keep track of everything, have a leaderboard and everything. So I think it's more official Apache. So we're gonna do it that way there. I know for sure it now gonna catch on right away. So it might not be that official this year for the whole season. Some man might miss out a couple weeks first and then join, whatever the case is. But I'm gonna try my best on my YouTube platform and on my socials. Try to just put it out there so people know I'm doing it, so that more people can be involved. But it's something we're gonna grow just like how the channel been growing same way. So we're not afraid of putting in a little work for it to get better. So we'll just do that, right? But yeah, Super Brew, big ups to you. Give me a platform for kind of, just put everything in one channel so I can keep up with everything a little bit easier and not have to be looking through a list and checking off names and this and that. So yeah, I think it will make my life a lot more pleasant. You know what I mean? But that's it for the predictions for the week again. I have this summary here that I've sent to myself, so I will share that on the socials as well so people can see what I've predicted for the week. All right. So we did the table predictions for the season. We did the predictions for the week. All that's really left on the program tonight is to give a little word to the fantasy. So we have been talking about it because people are asking about joining the league, but let's just show you guys on screen now. I'm not going to show you my team. I'm sorry, people, you can't get that info. Yes, Jaguars, I will. It will be like the first two comments under the video. I'll have the prediction league join button or link, and I'll have the fantasy link as well ready to go. As a matter of fact, I need to make sure that I set my team up. But here is the fantasy league, and it looks like we have People already in the building. Grimy is there. Mobile City, Twiz. Big up to Twiz. Maxfield 87s. Cruise Control, no nonsense. Gunners in the building. Not that Gunners, not the YouTube one, but the next one. Ricardo's team. Cool Kid FC. Tyrone's team, that must be T. Got Davis. Mario Dakers, I believe that's I saw a name, the name. Um Military Gooner, I think that's his real name. Ballpree TV is back again. Big up to Ballpree, Real Gooner Dre. New Green FC, big up to Chris. Full Effects, big up to Nigel Blair. Yeah, man. So the people them a roll out. Last year the man them make me take it home. I don't know how to make that happen, but yeah, I go for the title again this year. As I say, I will not be picking my team on the screen, but I will show you guys my FPL drafts that I've done. So I have Crystal Ball FC, which I'm gonna look at first because this is the foundation. This is the first league that I ever did in fantasy because I never even played the other fantasy game, and I did only the draft league. But this is my team for this season that I was drafted. So it's different from the regular fantasy that some of you are asking to join my league. And this is literally you have the players on your team and no other player in the league can have them. So it's a true draft where you select players. Once you select them, they cannot be drafted by anyone else. So you're not going to see everyone with Haaland in the team, everyone with Bruno in their team. It's basically a draft and you have to, make your selections wisely. So let me show you guys the draft room because I always think this is very interesting. Let's see. So this was the draft. So Haaland was the first pick. Big surprise. I took Bruno with the second pick. I had the chance to take Saka, who I picked as my player of the season, and I still picked Bruno in fantasy. So that should tell you how I was feeling on Monday night when we did this draft, or Tuesday night when we did this draft. Saka went third. Isak surprisingly went fourth. At least I thought that was a surprise. But caveat in there is that person is a big Liverpool fan. Semenyo was the next pick at 5. Then we had João Pedro 6. That one might be regretted later, but let's see. Soboslai was picked 7th, and then Cole Palmer rounded out the first round. There's 8 players in our league, and that was Cole Palmer that went next. Then Declan Rice was taken with the 9th pick in the draft. Then you have Mbuemo, Cunha, Thiago, Shirky, Gabriel, and that pick was right before me. I was going to take Gabriel with that pick, but the fellow Gooner in there, Twiz, he took Gabriel, and I took Ali Watkins, which I don't know if I'm going to love that pick for the season, but I just think he's a goal scorer, so he's going to get points. Cody Gakpo had a big drop in ranking based on how he's been playing, but I do think he'll do better this season, actually. Gyökeres was picked next, then David Raya. I took a big leap there, taking him very early, but I panicked a bit, not getting Gabriel in my defense. I just wanted one Arsenal defender that I know will play because that's 6 points a lot of the time. Rogers, Neto, Odegaard, that's a good pick, I think, this year, value-wise. I think he'll do better than he was been doing before. Gahey, O'Reilly, Verts, drop down. That's a good value there. Last pick of the 3rd round to get him there. And then Gibbs White next. That's 2 very good value picks there. That person, Brad, had back-to-back. So, yeah, good pickups there for him. Mateta, then Donnarumma, Virgil. This was really a panic. Donnarumma in the 4th round. Havertz. I took Solis next. Happy with that pick there. And then, of course, it just becomes, who can fall to you at that point. So, interesting, the last pick of the draft was Mamadashvili. So, usually you see goalkeepers getting picked towards the end of the draft. So, that's where your second keeper would be. Anyway, so for this team, I need to pick a starting lineup as the season starts tomorrow. I don't think Nkapia will start. I think Calafiori will. So, I will start Calafiori. I'll start Vardiol and I'll start Tarkowski. I think all three of those players will play. Raya, of course, will start in goal. I'm starting Bruno, Solis, Harry Wilson, Ismail Assar, and Enzo Lefe. I think that will be fine for me. And then it's probably between should I start Gonzalo or Richarlison. Part of me is saying go one striker because I don't really know rotation wise who's gonna play for Tottenham up front. And Gonzalo just getting to the club. Does Arbeloa not start him in game one? I mean, I don't know. I'm not really sure. So that's one that I think I'm gonna kind of wait and see and just try to play the players that I feel will start for sure. Even though obviously you can get points from a player off the bench, I just feel like, yeah, I'll go with the starters early doors, just to raise the chances that they do get some points. But yeah, I feel like Gonzalo Garcia will start. Hmm. I don't love the Vardial matchup with Bournemouth. I think their defense gonna need some time. I think Chelsea potentially could concede. Palestra on debut. Maybe I play it a little conservative with him. It's between Palestra and Vardial for me. So I'll make that decision at crunch time. But yeah, that's the team I'll go with this one. Then we have League done. Yo. So this is my other league. I mean, I think this is 6 players in this, or 7 players in this one. So I think the teams are a little bit better. But this was the draft here in this league. I think Bruno was the first pick, then Haaland, Isak, Gabriel. I took him with the 4th pick. Saka went after that. Then Raya in the first round. Wow. Palmer and João Pedro close out. Well, Palmer was last pick in the first round, then João Pedro next. Then Solis went. Then Semenyo. Then I took Mbuemo. My first pick was Gabriel. My second pick, Mbuemo. Like, what? I was in the car for this one. I took Watkins in this one too. Took Soboslai. All right, that's not bad. Ismail Assar again. Kansa. I was thinking this was yesterday, so I was thinking he's gonna go to Arsenal. Doku have a little niggle, but I got him anyway in the 4th round. Mateta. Harry Wilson again. Allison is my keeper in this one. Palestra again. Gonzalo again. So I literally picked the same team. Verbruggen. I picked Saliba. I picked Saliba. Wow. And Nico Williams. All right. So this team, let's put some players on the field. So we know Saliba not playing. So we'll see how long I keep him in the team without getting rid of him. I don't think Doku going to start. So I'll bench him. I'm going to play Nico. I'm not going to put Kanza in the team. So this one is going to be tough to get a lot of points. These are basically the players I have to use. Kanza, I think, will be in limbo. I don't think he'll be involved at all. Because he'll probably, I think, all reports say he did his medical today at London Colney. So, yeah, I don't think he'll be seen. But I have a strong team. Gabriel, Nico Williams, Palestra, so a decent defensive setup. Allison against Newcastle. Let's see how that goes. Soboslai, points galore all the time. Mbuemo, I think he'll start out the season as the striker, so expect him to get some points. Sar, he'll be a key. Wilson, definitely will be a key. Mateta scares me because Strand Larson is around. But let's see. It's a new manager. He's French. Maybe he'll favor Mateta. We'll find out soon. But yeah, those are my two draft teams. And my fantasy FPL team. I'm about to show. No. No. I'm not about to show you anything. That one, can't see. I'm sorry, you can't see that. Bless upstate. So I'll go on. But yeah, people, that's about it, We got through everything I wanted to do tonight. I have some more things to set up for the fantasy, which I'll do before kickoff tomorrow. But looking so forward to this season. Again, to recap, I have the Premier League. So this was my predictions for the Premier League season. Let me get them on the screen so you guys can see it again. I did put a way to sign up to do this as well. Basically, you go to the Premier League website and they have a predictor. You just click on it. Once you hit continue, it will, have you set up to try to win the grand prize. If you can predict the season, the most correct spots in the league. This is what I came up with for the top 20 or the whole season or the whole table. I saw that I had didn't really take many chances with the relegation. I just went all the three promoted teams will go right back down. I do have Ipswich finishing closest to safety. But I think Forest will be the closest to being relegated again. Newcastle, like I said, I think their manager will be the first sacking of the season. Sunderland, not because I think they'll struggle so much and the manager will be in trouble. I just think the European games coupled with the Premier League will kind of set them back this year. I think it's 15th, but I think it's a safe 15th. I think they're kind of safe and they fall towards the end of the season to that level. Bournemouth, I think finally the moving parts in the team, the changing of the manager, it all catches up with them this year. So they have a little bit of a stumble based on what they've been doing in previous seasons. Crystal Palace, I know that their manager who had them doing well has gone to Forest and I have Forest finishing low, but I just feel like I just think it's going to take a little longer for Forest to find their feet. And I think actually for stretches of the season they're in the zone and they play themselves out of it towards the end. I think Leeds is my surprise this year. I don't think many people probably will have Leeds up in the top 10. I mean, granted I have them 10th, but that's still top 10, and that's probably a surprise to a lot of people. They are always hovering in and around that relegation zone for most of the season, but I think this year they actually have a good season. At least, well, very good for them. Everton I have just outside there. Fulham 12th, Palace 13th, Bournemouth 14th, Sunderland 15th, Newcastle 16th. Then moving up the table now, Brentford 9th, Brighton 8th, Spurs 7th, City finishing 6th, Liverpool 5th, Man U 4th, Aston Villa 3rd, and Chelsea 2nd, with Arsenal winning the league. 93 points, my prediction. That's 29 wins, 6 draws, and 3 losses. That's what I predict for the Premier League season. Then I had my predictions for the week in terms of scores. And just to give you a recap of that, here goes the scores for the week. And I have Arsenal 3-0 over Coventry, Man United 2-1 over Hull City, Everton and Crystal Palace to draw 1-1, Ipswich Town losing 2-1 to Sunderland on their return to the Prem. At home, Nottingham Forest losing at the City Ground 3-1 to Leeds, Glasnow's home debut, Brentford 2-1 win over Tottenham in front of their fans, Brighton 2-2 at home against Aston Villa, City the same against Bournemouth, Newcastle 1, Liverpool 3 at St. James Park, and then Fulham at Craven Cottage falling to Chelsea 2-1 Monday Night Football in England. So that is it for that. Again, I will, Jagarns, repost the links under the comment section. Once the stream is over, you'll see a couple of links. One will be to join the FPL League. Just hit that link. It's an auto join. So once you are signed up for FPL in any way, your team will be placed in that league as well. Have a plenty of entries already in there, and hopefully that grows as the weeks go as well. And then we also have, this is the one I really want people to get on board with. As you notice, I did not take scores from people in the comment section tonight. I want to try to streamline all the predictions towards this right here. It will just give me a lot less work to do every week before I can bring you the content. So maybe we can get it started a little bit earlier on some of those days when the Premier League play the last game, and you know that Gooner TV will be live with the review show. All right, so that is another link you'll see in the comment section. But people, those of you that passed through, those of you that stuck around for the entire show, those of you that are going to watch this show on the replay, I just want to say thanks so much for the support to Gooner TV. It has been a great time growing the channel slowly. Yes, I repeat, slowly but surely. Obviously I don't have the time like some other content creators to give you as much content, but just know that when we do provide content, it's worth watching, and that will not change for sure if you watch this channel. All right, people, so big up to each and every one of you that passed through. Thanks again for all the support. Remember, if you haven't already, please do hit the like button. All those looking out for links to join the various leagues, the fantasy, the predictor league, make sure to look out for that in the comment section, people. I will drop that underneath the video. So just get ready to click onto those links and sign up. All right, people, once again, before we head out, let me just one more time pull up a couple of things in the live chat, just in case people watching this back. The live chat does have the comments replayed, so I will just, for that reason, one more time drop this in the comment section. So it's pinned, but it's also there. So that's the FPL link. And there's a couple of ways to sign up for the predictor. You can get the app, or you can just work with the website itself. So you have the link to the website there, and you also have the link to get the app, the Super Brew football app, if you want to just do your picks inside the app each and every week. Since you're joining with that link, you'll automatically be put into my predictor prediction pool, and basically that will get you going. So I'm going to drop that in the Discord as well, because I know some of the viewers are in tune with the Discord a lot. So let me make sure I drop it there. But yeah, Arsenal Coventry, people, I think 3 at the Emirates, it's a celebratory affair. Hopefully they can unveil Ezri Konsa as well, which is another, reason for it to be even louder in that stadium. And yeah, I think Martin Odegaard and Saka looking like they're back to somewhat what will be their best versions of themselves. It will make a huge difference for the attack. And I think this year we will probably potentially win a lot more games with that style of play that, really works. Really works for more fans. Big up to Moss for dropping his scores in the comment section of the Discord. But I want Moss to see this. He'll see it. He'll see it. And he actually has his own as well, which I think I'm signed up for already, but I'm not sure. Hold on. All right, so I just signed up on Moss's as well. I think he has to actually add me. I think he has to add me. Oh no, I'm there. All right, so yeah. All right, so I'm on masses. I don't know who this is though. I don't know. There's this one pool where me don't know nobody in this. Okay, so it hide it. All right, cool. All right. We say you have 10 pick for the weekend. All right, good luck, Travis. I hope you win. Yeah, man. You can use them links, and like I said, I'll put it in the comment section as well. So people, big up on yourselves, EPL kickoff tomorrow. We'll be here for the action. I am Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV, and you don't know we'll be back here Monday night for the EPL review show, where we recap all 10 fixtures, take a look at how we did in FPL, and yeah, man, just banter each other. And more than likely, my club will not be getting bantered so much this year. Yeah. So it's a good year. But people, big up on yourselves. Who will challenge us? That is the question. I think that the challenges will come mainly from Chelsea, Villa, Man U, Liverpool, Man City. But I don't think any of them will challenge us how we challenged City the last 3 years before last year when we won. I think it will be a wider margin. I think 12 to 18 points will be the win this year. I predict Arsenal to win 93 points this season. Yes, I'm saying it with chess. I'm saying it with chess. All right, people. But let's see. It starts tomorrow. No hiccups early. I predict a 3-0 victory. Arsenal, over to you now to make my prediction look like I'm a genius. All right. But people, big up on yourselves. Thanks again for tuning in. I will drop all the links to join all the various leagues underneath the comment section. They're pinned in the live chat as well if you're watching this back. People, big up on yourselves. I'm Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV. Come on, you Gooner.